UFC 275 is this weekend from Singapore, and the guys from Morning Kombat have been breaking it down, getting you ready, and of course catch them daily, both Brian Campbell and Luke Thomas, on everything combat sports related, which includes boxing and mixed martial arts. BC, by the way, got 4 storylines to watch for Singapore on CBSSports.com. And we bring in BC on the road for Showtime Boxing, but we're talking MMA here. You had a conversation with the champ Glover Teixeira here in the main event against Jiří Prochazka. How's he feeling, by the way, and how do you sort of handicap this fight, BC?
I mean, he's feeling ultra confident, which is amazing for a guy who's not that far away from turning 43, the second oldest champion in UFC history. The real question heading into this fight is this just a great feel-good, one-time Cinderella story, meaning the champion, the ageless wonder, will be one and done? Or is this a fight, despite the odds and despite the danger, that Glover Teixeira is perfectly suited to win? That's what's most interesting when you're facing a wild card like Jiří Prochazka, who comes from wild angles, is reckless, takes big chances, and can knock you out at any given time. But in terms of Glover Teixeira's demeanor, boy, is he just efficient, old? Yeah, he's old, but he's figured out how to utilize his ground game. And when you look at Jiří Prochazka, yes, he's crazy dangerous, but he opens up big opportunities due to the chances he takes, the mistakes he makes. This could be the perfectly suited fight for Glover Teixeira to wait for that opening, capitalize on the mistake. But either way, him just getting to this point is really a tip of the cap to his hard work and his consistency.
This is an interesting situation, of course, where the champ is an underdog, and we know he's a boomer and he loves it. Told you and Luke Thomas he doesn't know on social media and do all the big things. He just puts hand to hand and goes and does it old school. All right, Valentina Shevchenko, another championship fight. Talia Santos there. The odds are much bigger here for the women's flyweight championship. What do you got?
I mean, these are actually the closest odds of any of Valentina Shevchenko's 7 title defenses. This will be her 7th. Talia Santos is a very interesting opponent. We know Shevchenko really on her way to becoming one of the greatest all time. No holes in her game, is getting better with age now, seemingly at age 34. But Talia Santos from Brazil has put together a nice win streak, and she's very well-rounded. The fear in that, though, Tommy, is when you don't bring one dominant skill to the table against somebody like Shevchenko, who always is going to be so, from a betting standpoint, the easy favorite. You may not have a chance of upsetting the apple cart and winning it. You got to love what Talia Santos can do. She can strike, she can take the fight to the ground, but is she strong enough in any of those categories where you can make a reasonable path for an upset? At this point, I still say no, but do look closely at those odds. Typically, when Shevchenko defends her title, it's really a laugher. It's all or nothing here. But Santos at least has a betting chance, according to the odds makers.
All right, so it's a good card. You got the 2 title fights, but perhaps this one with Zhang and Joanna Part 2 might be the best of them on. Zhang Wei the favorite, -165, and Joanna Jedrzejczyk coming in as the dog.
Yeah, of course, these two met in 2020, right before the pandemic, and they produced the greatest female mixed martial art fight of all time. One of the greatest action fights, maybe top 3 or 4 in UFC history. What can they do, though, for a sequel? It's 2 years later. This is a 3-round fight and not a 5-round fight. But how about a tip of the cap to Dana White and company with the UFC for making this fight feel huge? Dana White says the winner of this bout gets the next title shot at 115 pounds against new champion, who's also the inaugural champion, Carla Esparza. But in terms of how we handicap how they've changed over the 2 years, Joanna hasn't fought since then. We remember the violence, the blood and guts they went through, the giant hematoma. But she's back. She's refreshed. The one thing, though, that Weili Zhang has done, despite 2 losses to Rose Namajunas in the interim, she's improved her game. She's added wrestling. She's made it well-rounded. You can understand why Weili is the favorite coming in. She has more ways to win. But can you count out Joanna champion, JJ, as she calls herself? I don't think you can. I think we're headed toward another fight of the year contender. Will it top the first? I'd say that's impossible, Tommy. But these two seem ready, willing, able to go out there and put on the magic once again.
All right, Brian Campbell joining us here. BC, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to break this one down on the Q.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.